ということで、やってきましたニコロ・ベルナドッティの会社。何が待ち受けてるか分かりませんけれど、ちょっとやらないでしょうがないとはいかないかなと思うので、行ってみたいと思います。そうですか。入れませんね。
So what's the infiltration plan, Sherry? I'd go in through the rooftop if we had a harpoon gun.
Help me, please.
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
どうしたらいいのかな。
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp.
ということで、ベルナドッティ株式会社の裏口に回ってきました。いろいろありますけれど、あそこですかね。
Hey, yo. This is private property. You lost something.
ベルナドッティ氏に会いたい。
I'm here to discuss business with Mr. Bernadotti. I tried the front door, but...
Mr. Bernadotti isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
It's in Mr. Bernadotti's best interest to...
1.
あなたの仲間が一人死んだ。
Listen, the man Bernadotti sent to...
So...
殴る。
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
殴るで正解なのか。はい、戦闘です。久々の戦闘です。頑張りましょう。まだいるか？もういない。はい、なんとかいけましたね。やっぱ走行持ちが難しいですね。多少は慣れてきましたけれども、走行持ちはちょっと難しかったですね。さあ、入れるところがありましたね。なんかおじさんがいます。
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. An
Like you
amazing
didn't
piece
harm
of
the
culture.
folks on the
I
way
imagine
here.
many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
なんかいろいろ喋ってる時にインタラクトしちゃいましたけど、まあいろいろありますね。
A Dogon statue from West Africa.
これドラゴンなんですか？
A century old at least.
ほう。美術品が
Masks,
いろいろある
traditional
み
for
た
the
いですね。
Chokwe people of Central Africa. VH Grindley Flow Blue Tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotti Company
美
Limited.
術品の密輸入ってことですかね。
Let's see
はい、
what's
絵
hidden
が
there.
ありました。
Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
この部屋はこんなもんでしょうか。
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
本人がいましたね。痛めつけてやる。
Have you ever tried to pick up your teeth with broken fingers?
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear... I've got to... It's better I leave.
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
逃げていきましたね。さて、何があるかな。セッペリン関係。他はないかな。いろいろまだありそうですね。他の扉はないですね。じゃあ、ここ行ってみましょう。
The Bernadotte Company Limited trade network reaches the most distant colonies of the Great Empire.
It must be very convenient for a man like Bernadotte.
いろいろ手広くやってはいるみたいですね。
I suppose it's Mr. Bernadotte with our fine governor.
知事ともコネクションがあると。
1875 was taken a few years back. John, how many people in Cordona have a photograph with the governor, do you think?
You definitely don't have one.
Please don't shoot me. I have a family.
大量の種類。合法な。ここは違法なものはないですよってことですかね。市役所の紋章、舞踏会への招待状。これは何かに関わってくるんでしょうか。
Spare me.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me.
この人がベルナドッティですね。どう考えてもそうですね。親族か。ちょっとわからないですね。見えないですね。なかなかの収集物だ。収集家ではあるみたいですね。さてじゃあベルナドッティさんと話をしましょ
Whenever
う
you're
か。
ready. I'd hate to intrude.
観察。他の入れ墨と異なるギャングの入れ墨。そして硬くなった手、よく人を殴っていたということでしょうか。ペラグラを患っていた。何か病気の名前ですかね。冷酷。銃で人を殺すことも意図はないということですかね。既婚であると。冷酷な犯罪王というのがそうですね、人物像に合うでしょうか。
Bad news. The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes. And you are Niccolo Bernadotte, a smuggler, kidnapper, and notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
はい。強盗の捜査をしているでいきましょうか、まず。
I was hired privately to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization and, thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotte.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly enough, I spotted the stolen painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office.
はい。盗品を売りつけられただけだと言ってますけれど、そんなわけはないでしょうね。
As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
ボナファス・マーキュリーを知ってるか。
Mr. Bernadotte, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself.
So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr. Bernadotte?
You have the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I'm rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph, eliminating Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
随分あれですね。なんですかね。わかりやすい悪党ですね。
I could not help but appreciate the collection of
密輸
smuggled
品についてちょっ
artifacts
と
in your
話を聞いてみましょ
storeroom.
うか、まず。
You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
まあ話はまだあるんですけれども、もし写真を渡
Why
すと
should
言
I
ったら
give、you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me, as much as he deserves.
So, in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
はい、記憶の宮殿が更新されたので、一度見てみましょう。ベルナドっていうのを申して、盗まれた絵画。ベルナドッティは脅迫をしようとしていたと。で、新しい選択肢が生まれましたね。ネイラは乱暴され、もう少しで誘拐されるところだった。何もまず彼女と赤ん坊の安全を確保しなければ。難民たちはすべて制度の被害者だ。彼らの状況を改善しなければならない。2択を選ぶことができました。で、ネイラだけを助けるとなると、このベルナドッティルートですね。で、全体を助けようとすると、ノートンルートですね。はい。調査を進めた結果、より悩むことになると思いませんでしたけれども。そうですね。まあもう今できるのは、我々にできることは選ぶことだけですね。ベルナドッティと取引をするか、公使と取引をするか、どちらにするかということですね。公使は卑劣な人物で、ベルナドッティはこの忌々しい状況を利用しようとしている。どちらも信用できない。どちらも信用できないですね。で、問題を解決するためには真実を公表するしかないだろう。ボーゲルに写真を渡し、すべてを公表してもらおう。正直これが一番、まあそうですね。書いてある通り無慈悲な選択になるでしょう。予想外の協力関係では、ネイラーとその子供の生活が保障される。けれども、ベルナドッティは公使を脅迫するでしょうと。公使がどうなろうと知ったことではないんですけれども、難民全体は救われないで、ネイラとその子供だけが救われるでしょうというところですね。ここまで来てしまったので、ベルナドッティと取引をしてみましょうか。はい、先ほど、前の世界線では公使と取引をしましたが、今回はじゃあベルナドッティと取引をしましょう。どうや
If I give you the photograph, how do I know you will not come after me?
Mr. Holmes, you are not a threat. The local authorities owe me favors. For all your confidence, you cannot actually harm me. Besides, I like you and your approach to business. We are not dissimilar. Pragmatists to a fault.
Indeed, I cannot ignore the just outcomes in what you have proposed. All right, take the photograph.
You are a hard man to read, Mr. Holmes. I couldn't tell if you actually had it. Fear not. This decision will bear its fruits soon enough. One more thing, Mr. Holmes. Now that I have the photo, you may as well take Mr. Mercurio's painting back to the gallery. Please, send my apologies.
ということで、再びここに戻ってきました。
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
前の世界線よりいい結果なのか悪い結果なのか
I've
は
brought news,
わ
but
かり
not
ま
all
せ
of
ん
it will
が、
please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
ここら辺はちょっと飛ばしましょ
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume.
I located the thief, but found him rather...
What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
Yes, it's here.
Splendid. I'm most grateful, Mr. Holmes. It must have been a difficult task. Will you share your adventures with me?
I cannot, Mr. Vogel. The story is much like your undergallery. Not for everyone's eyes and ears.
So sometimes you do hide the truth. What has happened to your crusade?
I'm not on a crusade. I simply do not owe you the story.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen to keep secrets, I'll respect it. Besides, the truth is often more boring than the mystery. No?
It is what it is, Mr. Vogel.
Well, now that we've resolved all
や
of
はりこ
our
の人は
outstanding
なん
matters,
か
I have
す
a
ごい
gift for
怪し
you.
く感じます
I
よ
took the
ね、最
liberty
初の
of
登場
having
から
it
して。
delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
はい。じゃあ、
Thank you, Mr. Vogel.
ボーゲルの
I am
ところ
curious
か
to
ら
see
は
what you have
去
procured.
って届け物について確認しに行きましょうというところで本日は終わりたいと思います。ありがとうございました。